To start off, let us look at what the game Tower of Hanoi is about. Tower of Hanoi is a mathematical game. Its objective is to be able to move all the discs into Tower 3, but you can't place a larger disc onto a smaller disc. To start off, first we need to know where we got the source code for the revision of the game. I have placed it on bookmark so that I won't have to search for it. Here's what we got from the blog of McClellan, who was the one to be able to create a Flash AS3 generated Tower of Hanoi. Here we can see several descriptions of the game and how it is played. For the game itself, you can download it here in a form of a Flash action script game. Remember to cite your sources to avoid plagiarism. Open the game in Adobe Flash at ActionScript 3.0. Open the timeline of the game to check its components. The button that I am clicking right now is in charge of the number of steps the user will be using to finish the game. These are the buttons that will be used to let the game work. You can either change the number of discs that you want or reset the whole game. You can also let the program solve if you can't finish the game. Now with the text box here, instead of using anti-alias, use the Use Device fonts to be able to write your number. Do the same for the next text boxes. Now, check if all of your instance names are correct so that there will be no compiled time error. The MC rod will be used as the tower. The MC game holds the solution checker, wherein if you have solved the puzzle, you will automatically place on the screen. Now, let us view the codes that the game has and to what is their functions for the game. The logic placed before the code in the form of a comment line makes the code more readable. Let us look at the function for creating the disks. Here we can see that there are still comment lines. These comment lines makes the code more readable. The for loop uses the one that creates the number of disks from what the user has typed. The towers are made in the form of an array that have different functionalities too. It is used to represent the disks that will be placed there. This is the one that generates the movement for the game. It is more like a start button. Once you created the action, the disks will now be in place. Now for the mouse events, we can see here different values. These values can be changed depending on your screen resolution or how large you want the game to look like. You can fix it here and place your numbers. This function here checks whether you have solved the game correctly, as is with the steps. It also checks the length of the disk that you are working on, whether you will break the disk or not. Now let's go back to the game and try to export it. Press the Ctrl plus Enter if Windows and Command plus Enter if Mac. Those written here in the rightmost of the game are the steps that has been generated once it is being solved. It is more like a guide for the user. Once the project is opened, I will now start on revising. First thing is, what am I going to revise? My revision is to change or alter the characters in the game, and to change its background. After clicking it, go to the timeline, and then create a new layer. This layer will be for the background of the game. Go to the toolbox again, and right-click the rectangular button, then fill the background. Choose whatever color you would like. I would like mine to become a classboard. Now, fill it into your background, and then create another one, a green one, in my case for the blackboard. Go to the toolbox again, activate the rectangle tool, then fill the background with green. Choose whatever pastel you want for that color, and blend them well. Be sure that it will look precise and not look unbalanced. Now, the background has already been finished. Let us start on changing the towers. I want mine to look like a pencil. Click the stage area where the rod is standing. Once you edit one of the three, since it is a symbol, all three will be edited. Once the rod has been clicked, click the backspace or delete button. Since we will be creating a new character, go to the toolbox again, and then activate the rectangle tool. Choose the color for your object. Mine would be first eraser for the pencil. I will go to the toolbox again for the other parts of my pencil. I will activate the rectangular tool and choose the color I want the shape to be. Make sure that objects are balanced together and does not look curvy. The tower needs to be straight and steady for its discs. After doing those shapes, I will now create the body of the pencil. Again, activate the rectangle tool, and I will choose what color I want the body to be. Let's say yellow would go well. Once again, make sure that the objects are straight and steady with each other. The tower needs to be balanced to look good to its users. For the stand of the tower, or its base, I would only create a simple rectangle for that. Again, go to the toolbox, activate the rectangle tool, and choose the color of the base. The base should be good enough to last until 10 discs for its length. But you can always change the length of the disc. Now for the design of the pencil. Since it looks incomplete, I decided to place an ellipse on the leftmost side of the pencil. But you can stick with the original. Now, the design for the pencil is complete. Let us go back to the scene 1 by clicking the button on the upper rightmost of the stage. Let us go back to the UI in the timeline panel and check the buttons for them to work once they are exported. Using the selection tool, click the button and check if they are properly instantiated, or if they can be written on. Once exported, they can be written on if they are using the Use Device fonts instead of the anti-alias. Once everything is done, export the game and play by pressing Ctrl plus Enter for Windows and Command plus Enter for Mac.